Today I will talk about the task presentation of 9.2D user interface and embedded SQL. So the main aim of this task is to embed SQL in an application developed using other programming language techniques. So in this task, the web server package that I use is XAMPP, which already contains Apache Web Server, which is a HTTP web server commonly used, and it works on both on all Windows, Linux, and Mac. And the database management system that I use is MySQL. I also make use of the PHP scripting language, which is a scripting language for web developers, which is very mainly used, and it stands for Hypertext Preprocessor. It's an open source language for server-side scripting to create dynamic web pages and also to interact with the databases to handle forms. And so I also make use of the PHPMyAdmin, which is an open source PHP-based web application that manages MySQL, and we can easily create new databases and also running SQL commands using graphical user interface rather than the traditional command line tools like Oracle. So after the configuration of these packages, I created the HTML file which handle the form on the web page, and also I added the method and the action attributes to the form to gather the data from the web page into the PHP file. Within the PHP file, I added the method to connect to MySQL, and also to get the post records from the web page. After getting the post records, I also added the filter input to validate the data of users filling the form, and I also added a valid input field. So valid input field is to check if all of the fields are filled in, and to check if some of the fields have the right input format. For example, for text gender, the user must choose one of the two options. And for example, for email, I use filter input, the filter input method of PHP, especially for email. So that would be filter validate email. If one of these are encountered after the user haven't filled in the fields, or they have the wrong format, then there will be a message print out to the web page, and then the valid input will change into false. And if the valid input is false, then SQL will not implement this method, which is to insert values into the table. And the last thing is to insert into the database. So after I put the PHP file and the HTML file in the same directory, and so I run my website, and this is my website contact form. So as I mentioned before, we have name, there's gender, email, phone, and message. And so now I will start adding a false input from the customer, from the user. So attempt insert a record with incompatible or missing data. So here, the name that I choose is Tom. I will not fill in the gender field. For email, I will add space so that to see if the system can check if there's a false format of email. And I will also not fill into message. And after click on insert, the website print out the message. First of all, gender input is missing, and there's invalid email format. There's also missing from the message input, and so there's invalid input format and contact not inserted. So if I go back to the website and choose mail here and change Gmail to the right format, and also added message here is hello. And if I click insert, then there will be message appeared onto the website. So we go back to PHPMyAdmin, and when I refresh the PHPMyAdmin, I can see that a record is added to my table. So there's Tom, field gender is 1, field email and phone and message is as we had filled in before. So that will be all of the requirement of this task. Please refer to the code and also the presentation of what I picked up from this task in the attached PDF file. Thank you.